Hello everybody and welcome to Performance E-Streaming. I have remembered to set it to listed. Sorry about that folks. Just a brief blip. I am as ever Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you up here in the booth tonight for the ANZCAR trucks here at Texas Motor Speedway, and I'm joined by Mr. Mark Johansson. Mark, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be back here on back on the 1.5 mile oval. Looking forward to some great action here tonight.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to an absolutely stellar race. We'll quickly run through the grid. It's Dave Douglas taking pole next to Jason Martin. On row number 2 we've got Michael Schroeder and Lachlan Urquio. Row number 3 is Kate Donnelly, Chris Purnell. Row number 4 is Shane Bowen and Gary Wellman. Row 5 we have Troy Davidson, Norman Clark. On row number 6 is Scott Lefebvre with Tom Williams. Row 7 we have Riley Curtis, Todd Maxfield. Then it's Alexander Sheridan, Brad Fenley, Ben Henker, Tristan Koch, Greg Sholton, Steve Hoppett, Robert Barton, Maddie Ray, Michael Campbell, Nigel Patton, Noddy Tompkins, Maxi Marshall, and that rounds out our field tonight as we come round getting ready for the start of the race. Sorry for the slightly rushed intro, folks, but we will go through the usual details in just a couple of moments, but we are about to go green here for 130 laps of Texas Motor Speedway. Somebody clipping the wall early on there already, but we are into the race and green has dropped and it's Dave Douglas leading them away.
Yeah, good to see Dave back out there tonight. Great to see him not sitting in front of the TV watching the footy tonight. So I expect big things from Dave tonight. He's definitely one that can pedal. Very good. Second place at the moment, Jason Martin. Another one to keep an eye on tonight. We've seen him in that second stint lately, Carl, drop off and drop down to the back of the top 10, but he seems to come back on that third stage, on that third pit stop, and it's good to see Michael Schroeder out there. A bit of a delivery.
Yeah, Michael Schroeder, nice to see him back up in the trucks, back in ANZCAR as well, and sporting a new livery. And we've got a couple of new faces out there, Robert Barton and Greg Sholton as well. So nice to see a few new faces appearing for the race. Returning face of Chris Purnell as well, back out in the trucks too tonight here at Texas.
Yeah, keep an eye on him. He said he's wants to come out and prove that he can still do this, and I have no doubt he will come back and jump in with both feet. Just looking at Lachlan Urquio there at the moment, sitting down in 10th, 11th place. He'll be looking to bounce back after last week's horror result in the trucks at Martinsville, I think it was. Yeah, he did not have a good week last week, and just a slight lock points there for him in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Martinsville catching a few drivers out as well, to be expected. It is a tough track, that one. A little bit different here at Texas, and a lot faster, of course. A lot more speed taken through this track, and well, we're seeing it at the moment with the leader Dave Douglas. He has got a little bit of a lead, but not too much over Jason Martin and Michael Schroeder. Kate Donnelly keeping relatively close too. But plenty of action going on throughout the field, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking at the lap times there. Chris Purnell sitting in 5th place has done the last quickest lap on the last lap with a 31.3. To 8, and then the others are just in that 31.3s also. So those front 5 trucks have really got the foot to the floor here tonight.
Yeah, they are going for it up the front. We just saw Kay Donnelly having a little bit of a moment on the exit. The car in front of us here as we ride on board with Chris Purnell. And just a little wiggle for Donnelly, and that's given the opportunity for Purnell to make the move here. And he is looking to get past and work his way through to ahead of Kay Donnelly up into P4, but they are racing ever so close through the corner, but Purnell just manages to get it through, get himself up into 4th position.
The other truck out there tonight that we've been missing for a little while is that beautiful red and black truck, number 83 of Matty Ray. He's taken on a new job, so that's been keeping him away from the racing a little bit in the last few weeks. But he's out there again tonight for SRM, and it's good to see the team boss back out there and having a good run at the moment down in 17th. But I wouldn't be too worried about him down there, because he definitely likes to hang towards the back. It's about mid-race before he starts making the move.
Absolutely, expect to see him working his way up towards the front of the pack as this race unfolds, as it continues on. We have got 26 cars out there tonight, lots of racing going on, including this one between Greg Shelton and Michael Campbell. Some good racing going on throughout the pack at the moment. Lots of different people fighting it out for position. And you've got to be careful here in Texas not to go too hard too soon, because sometimes you can really scrub the tyres off.
Yeah, definitely. Just back up the front, we've got another move here. Michael Schroeder looking to put a move on Kay Donnelly, but Kay's fought back hard on the outside, and now he drops back down in the into the bottom lane for 3 and 4, and yeah, away they go again.
Away indeed. Some very, very quick drivers out here tonight, and there is plenty of competition out there for everybody. So that is going to keep everybody busy, which is always what we like to see. And well, the trucks have been delivering for us so far this season, and I'm sure they're going to deliver once again here in Texas. They always say everything's bigger in Texas, and that could be the racing. Up the front, Douglas, Martin, Purnell, all nose to tail, looking to see who can get the best run, but it is Douglas in the lead. So as we continue round, we've got plenty of action happening throughout the field still. Lots of drivers looking to make some moves as they go along, but the gaps are starting to extend a little bit now as drivers start to get themselves into the rhythm of this race. And it's going to be the thing of just extending your tyre life. That's always going to be a key factor here, not scrubbing too much of the tyres off, not overworking them, not getting them too hot as well. Temperature's always a big part of Texas, of course, and it is no different tonight with a track temperature of 52 degrees Celsius, 29 degrees air temperature mark. They are going to be hating it out there with those tyres getting very, very hot indeed.
Yeah, definitely will. And we've seen in the past races, once these trucks get a little bit of heat in those rear tyres, they don't like it, and they get very loose. And turn 1 and 2 here, you've really got to take it easy in the 1 and 2, because you get too hot, too much heat in those tyres, they'll just get all slimy, and you'll find yourself in that outside wall coming out of turn 2.
Absolutely, and I think that's what's happened to Robert Barton down the field a little bit. He has just had a little bit of a moment. Let's just quickly go back and see if we can catch the replay for that one and find out what's happened here to Robert Barton. See if we can pick anything up. I reckon it's going to be on the exit. No. Might be one of those little false flags that's come up, unfortunately. So it looks like nothing too untoward's happened. We'll see if we can pick back up with live pictures now. We have got Todd Maxfield in some trouble. Apparently, but nothing really showing up. Nothing too problematic for Todd there, but just maybe had a little bit of a moment. We'll see if we can catch that one on the replay as well. See what happened here to Tony Maxfield. Not really noticing anything to untoward. I think a couple of drivers just giving the walls a little clip here and there.
So we do have one in the pit lane, so this will be an unscheduled pit stop, so maybe can't pick that up. Sorry, Carl.
It's the 131 of Stevie Hoppett, the Mad Dog himself, bringing it into the lane, and I wonder if he is just struggling a little bit. No, Steve's having a couple of medical issues recently, so he might have just got to the limit of his area, unfortunately. But up the front, we've got some racing happening between Douglas, Martin and Purnell. These three battling hard for the lead of the race.
Yeah, definitely an angry bunch of guys there. Dave will just play it calmly, and Martin will definitely want to really push it, and Purnell will just sit there and pounce when he can.
Three very different lines, and right there Jason Martin taking the best line for speed by the looks of things. He absolutely flies past Douglas, gets himself up in front, back steps out a little bit. That's going to cost him a little bit of speed, but he manages to hold Douglas back, and Jason Martin takes the lead of the race. And this is exactly what you don't want to see if you're Lachlan Oakrio down there in the pack. The championship battle tight between these two, but it is Martin getting that bonus point now and getting himself up into the lead of this race.
I think it was only 9 points between the two of them coming into the night. So, yeah, Lachlan would definitely like to see either DD or Purnell get back into the lead and win this one.
I think ideally he'd like to see himself get into the lead and win this one.
Well, he is making his way through the field, so he's now up in the 9th, so not too bad for him.
Yeah, he's moving his way up, and I think he's been working on the long run pace of this truck and sort of keeping some long run pace in there, much like this man Norman Clark sitting, I think, 4th in the championship, the 09 sitting up there in P7, and speed is coming to Norman now, as we so often see with the veteran driver. He is just keeping that truck in a good position and building up the speed as the stint goes on, and just keeping that truck in a good position. Meanwhile, Martin up the front is starting to run away a little bit here, building up a gap ahead of the rest of the pack. He's pulled out a 0.6 of a second lead now over Dave Douglas. Not an easy task to do, but he is starting to run away a little bit here as we get into this stint. 24 laps of green flag running here at Texas for this round number 7? Or 8. Round 8, I think. I have to do some maths in my head of the trucks for 2024 here for Thursday nights on ANZCAR. Of course, brought to you by Neuropower. Big shout out to them, helping people live a better life. Make sure to check out Neuropower for all the information. They've just got themselves a nice new website set up with is looking absolutely schmick.
You see here, second place, Purnell has got the move done underneath Douglas, so that moves him up in second now. He'll be out after Martin, and I'm just wondering if Purnell was just start easing off a little bit, looking after those tyres to have a good run at Martin in this later stages of this first stint.
it's so crucial to get your eye on the ball with the stints working right, as Douglas just gets up close to the wall there, gives the wall almost a little kiss. But it's so easy to overdo it in the early stages. That's something that you know. Ooh, big slide there for Purnell. He somehow saves that. A little bit of rig rust showing there for Chris Purnell as he loses the rear of the car, exiting turn number 4. Somehow saves that one. That was a massive slide there. As we've got a car in the wall, and it's Noddy Tompkins, and that's going to bring out the caution flag.
Yeah, sorry, I was just having I went silent there, Carl. I was just listening to the chit chat between Dave Douglas and Chris Purnell over the race chat radio, and some very funny moments.
We'll go back and have a look at that Chris Purnell slide in a second. This is the incident that's brought out the first caution for tonight. Noddy Tompkins, Robert Barton. Barton just gets a little bit taily on the exit, goes down and collects Tompkins, and that is that for the number 80 tonight. Looks like a lot of damage for Noddy Tompkins.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see that truck back out on track. That's taking the rear end off, and will be some heavy damage to the nose of that. And we can see here back into the car on board with Purnell as he comes through the tri-oval.
Yeah, so I think we're just a lap behind on that.
Yep.
We'll just fast forward a little bit and catch the slide. Just on the exit, got on the power a little bit too soon. Back end steps out and beautifully held, steering into the slide, not overcorrecting it. And that is how you do that. Very nicely done. But this is going to be everybody into the pit lane for the first time tonight. Everybody's going to be coming in, and I imagine chucking those hot, sticky, bubblegum-like tyres off their car and getting themselves a fresh set.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we are 29 laps. 30 will be 30 laps done. So, yep, everyone so far is up on the rights. Martin up on the lefts. Douglas up on the lefts. Great stop there by Martin, and Douglas just gets back out in front of Purnell. So. Some great stops there.
Yeah, some good times through the field and some good exits there. And look, always crucial to get every millisecond you can in pit lane, because it can be the difference between victory and finding yourself further down the field.
Yeah, well, it looks like iRacing has decided that Purnell got out in front of Douglas because he's staying there, but as I say that, Douglas goes back in front of Purnell.
Dave maybe just a little bit slower back onto the track and just catching Purnell out a little bit, and they slot themselves back into their normal positions as we get the cars linking up 2 by 2, ready for the restart, which will be coming to us relatively shortly.
We now only have 100 laps to go.
Yes, we can almost write those 30 laps off and not even think about them as we get ready for the next 100 laps of this race, and we get ready for the next stage of this truck race as well. And it's always crucial to get that information in that first stint of how you've worn your tyres, because you can always adapt your driving style and just change it up a little bit, but you've got to be careful not to push too hard in those sort of situations. Now the drivers have got a bit of a clue of how the tyres are going to react in this race. They can start driving accordingly, and we're going to see a few drivers driving a little bit different in this stint, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. And by memory, they can make it home with one more stop too, Carl. So I think it's about 55 laps of fuel. So we're just coming around. They should get one to go this time by, and so we'll see the guys start to form up 2 by 2, and look for an exciting second stage of this race.
Absolutely, we've got 23 cars still in the race. We've lost Noddy Tompkins, Steve Hoppett and Tom Williams from the race, unfortunately. But we have plenty of action still to come in this race, I'm sure, as Texas is always one to delight. And I'm sure we're going to find some major action as this race unfolds. Still too early to make a call on who's going to win it, Mark.
Yeah, way too early, especially with those front guys up there. As we can see there now, Lachlan Urquio's made his way up to the front. We've got Gary Coleman there. The Sim boys have all of a sudden exploded onto the screen in this top 10.
Another car that's been working its way up is the 83 of Maddie Ray, up to 12th position after starting right down towards the back. So unsurprising to see that happen, but he is working his way slowly through the field. Keep an eye on those guys, and well, we will find out who's going to get this working as we get back to the restart of this race. Of course, if you're new to oval racing, well, first of all, welcome to Performance eStream and welcome to ANZCAR. But second of all, with the restarts, they have a little restart zone that they have to go in. So it's up to the leader when he puts his foot down, and that can give you a big jump. It can give you a lot of advantage on these restarts, depending on when you put your foot down. Just got to get it absolutely timed to perfection. It's up to the driver on the outside to react. They can't anticipate when the driver's going to go into the restart zone. Jason Martin goes. When does he drop it? He waits till the last minute and puts his foot down and gets away beautifully. And it catches Dave Douglas out a little bit. Douglas dropping back. Purnell coming along nicely there with Martin. A great start for the low line.
Yeah, we've seen recent times that that low line really get off to a real great start. But back up front, we've got a change for the lead. Purnell is now taking the low line around 3 and 4 and has taken the lead off Martin.
Purnell going a little bit harder in this early stage of the stint, and this is all the thing about finding those tyres and how they work. And Purnell is now using them to his advantage. Kay Donnelly just struggling a little bit on that restart. He's dropped down a little bit, down into 6th. He's had Gary Wellman pass him, his teammate. Shane Bowen up there in the 308, the Cobalt Racing entry. One of those drivers you've just got to really keep an eye on at the moment. He has been absolutely knocking on the door to victory lane for the past few months. And he's definitely one of those drivers that we could see up there taking the W in the near future.
Yeah, what Carl Purnell has really stretched his lead out now to just over a second. So he's really on fire on this set of tyres.
Yeah, he is absolutely going for it at the moment. Up to 1.2 seconds, the lead of the 920 over that of Jason Martin. But watch out for Martin and Douglas. They're just taking it slowly into this stage. They are eking out the tyre life a little bit, waiting to really push and go hard, while everybody behind is racing hard. A sea of cars, all in different positions. We are seeing a great battle down here in the mid-pack.
Yeah, those front 3 car, or there's a group of 4 or 5 there now. As I say that, they start to close up. I was going to say there's a couple of good little battle groups there. Wellman and Bowen and Douglas there battling for 3rd at the moment. Then we drop back to Kay Donnelly, Norman Clark and Todd Maxwell. Now those 5 have joined up and we're on for a real battle again. Norman Clark to the outside, trying to get that outside line working.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit happier up there, but he has got a lot of sim boys around him. Maxwell, Donnelly and Wellman. He's in a bit of a sim boy, well, it's more than a sandwich, you've got to say. It is a sim boy lunchbox at the moment. He is absolutely surrounded by them.
Yep. So yeah, then further back we got Urquio,
Riley
Curtis.
Curtis.
Yeah, Riley Curtis. He's come up a ways. And Nigel Patton there, and Scott Lethborough, and Alexander Sheldon. Troy Davidson, Matty Ray dropped back a little bit now, back down to 16th, but he will definitely come forward very shortly. Michael Campbell in 17th, 18th, Tristan Koch, Ben Henke in 19th, and Maxi Marshall. Good to see Maxi back out on track in 08 car. Rounding out the 20. Brad Finley in 21 in that. Oh, we're on the caution again.
Oh, there is a big wreck happening. Michael Schroeder is absolutely facing the wrong direction. We sort of saw the tail end of that one. Let us see. Looks like Nigel Patton and Michael Schroeder have made some contact. Let's see if we can find out what happened here in the replay. We're going to keep our eyes on this car in the middle of the screen, the one with the sorry on it. That's Michael Schroeder and the number 90 of Patton. What's happened here? They've just gone up and Schroeder's made contact with him. Made contact up in the wall, and around they go. Matty Ray just squeaking through that one by the narrowest of margins. Maxi Marshall on the brakes, but just gives Nigel Patton a bit of a nerf from behind. I think the one we want to watch that one from is I think Michael Campbell and Matty Ray. They both had some well, truly big saves in that one. Let's jump to Michael Campbell and jump on board to get a bit of a bird's eye view of what happened in that wreck, in that incident. Michael Campbell got a little bit of contact, I think we saw. So what we're going to be doing is watching in front of us here. Can't see much happening at the moment. Smoke, 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 and all of a sudden, bang, out of nowhere. Nothing you can do in a situation like that, Mark.
No, definitely not. And this place is a little bit different to others. It's the banking on the track's not quite as steep as some places, so you don't get the roll down from the wall. So he's done the right thing and gone to the top, thinking that the car's going to roll down track, but he's done the right thing also by sticking his foot on the brake, Schroeder, and unfortunately it just didn't move out of the road off that high line.
Yeah, just got caught out, and a couple of drivers just getting caught in that one. And it's always tricky in an incident like that when you are going in blind. You just have to hope that there is going to be a gap, and sometimes you just get unlucky. So, second caution of the night. We have got Michael Schroeder. He's in the lane for some major repairs. I think we lost Nigel Patton in that incident, unfortunately. It looks like he's taken it behind the wall. Michael Campbell as well getting some major repairs too, so some badly damaged trucks there. Going to need a little bit of tender loving care from their team and team to get them back out.
Yeah, definitely. Just having a look at some stats here. The banking on the back straight's only 5 degrees, so it's really not a great deal of banking there, Carl. So that's why we didn't see that truck roll down away from that top fence.
No, absolutely. It's a deceiving place, Texas. It's one of those very fast tracks as well. It's changed a little bit over the years as well with reprofiling and some tweaks to the place too. Old Texas was a little bit faster, a little bit scarier, but
a little bit.
Just a minor bit. I mean, depending on what you're driving as well, I guess that's the big thing. If you're in an almost 1,000 horsepower kart car, then Texas is probably the most terrifying track you can ever go to. when the Champ Car Series visited here back in the early 2000s, Mark, the drivers were blacking out through the mid corner because they were pulling that many Gs.
Geez, yeah, I do remember some information on that. But the first race here for the Cup cars was back in on the 6th of April in 1997. So the track's not that old, but it has been a fun track, and we have seen some fun real life racing. And also here at ANZCAR, we've always had some great races here in the Cups, Xfinity, and the trucks, as we are seeing tonight.
Absolutely, it's one of those tracks that really brings a lot of good racing to it, and it's one of those ovals that is very, very deceiving. Like we say so many times to our viewers, oval racing is a very different style of racing. Every track is different, although they all look like circles. Everyone is different depending on the banking, the way the corners profiled, the way the track runs, the everything there. And Texas is one of those tracks where you can easily get caught out and run wide through the exit of the corners and find yourself in a whole heap of trouble very, very quickly. So pace car lights are out. We're about to go back to green flag running here. Lap 43 of 130. Our second caution of the night. Chris Purnell is going to be leading them away this time as we get ready for the green flag here at Texas.
Great start there by Purnell to lead the field away. That bottom line again getting great jump. Dave Douglas slots in the second place. Martin in third place. Bowen and Wellman having a battle now for fourth. And Norman Clark has made his way up into fifth. So some great driving there by Clark.
Absolutely, and watch out for Clark as this race goes on. He seems to be really on it with the tyres at the moment. Very, very comfortable in the long run. Of course, they didn't come into the lane this time. They all stayed out on that set of tyres. A couple of the drivers coming in just for some repairs. So there's no real tyre advantage to be gained here. But Chris Purnell is probably in the worst shape, as he took a little bit of life out of those tyres in the early stint last time. So he might be a little bit worse for wear in this stage of the race. He might not be able to pull out that 1 second gap that we saw last time, but he is holding himself up the front nicely. Jason Martin, meanwhile, is just struggling a little bit at the moment. He's just dropping back a little bit, and I wonder if he is in full conservation mode, just trying to get the stint to length to a little bit longer, just so he can get some good speed laterally in this stage of the race.
Yeah, I'd say they'll definitely stretch their fuel out a little bit longer now that they've had that caution. So they'll be definitely looking to save a little bit of tyre wear and stretch this stint out as long as they can to get probably a quick 40 lap or 30 lap run at the rear end of the race.
We could see strategy coming into play a major role in this race yet, and that's always a key feature of the night. If you get the strategy worked out, you can get yourself in a good position. And well, these boys, they know what they're doing on the strategy front. Usually they don't get caught off guard very often, but they're going to be sort of working out what they need to do. Meanwhile, Gary Wellman is on absolute fire at the moment. He is definitely setting the pace out there, getting himself up past Dave Douglas, and well, a man that we know very well, Mark, and he's very quick on the oval side of things, Mr. Gary Wellman. He is definitely bringing the speed here tonight at Texas.
Yeah, definitely, and the way he's moving, Purnell's going to be in trouble. He's definitely got a great head of speed up. Maybe they've stuck a little bit of nitro in that tank. We can see there, great move down on the low line. But Purnell will stick with him and take the fight to him. But it looks like Wellman's going to get this move done. He's got his nose in front now. And just look for Purnell to drop in. Yep. Gary Wellman now to the lead of the race.
Meanwhile, we had almost 3 wide back with Toddy Maxfield as well. The Sim boys are flying here tonight. I wonder if they've got a little bit of that Van Diemen's Land moonshine that's placed into the fuel tanks as our Tassie compatriots are racing like they have got a couple of extra ponies under the bonnet tonight. They are absolutely flying out there.
And this is good. Like we see this now for the last couple of races. Different people there, and we can see Maxwell really got a head of speed on. So it's good to see different people up in front here. But even though these guys are got some great speed, don't count out those 3 drivers that we've been talking about most of the race: Purnell, Martin, and Douglas.
Yeah, I think that's the big key feature. Watch for them in the latter stages of the stint. Have they just been saving a little bit of tyre life for the next run? Are they going to come back to them, or have Sim Boys played a blinder here? Are they going to be able to build up a bit of a gap and get themselves into a good position in this race? And you can see there Todd Maxwell getting up into P2 as well. So it is a double Sim Boy position up the front with Gary Wellman and Toddy Maxfield up leading the race ahead of Chris Purnell, Jason Martin, Dave Douglas, our top 5 at the moment. And well, it's starting to fall back into single file racing. A little bit further back, the racing is still on. Michael Campbell getting a good lick of speed in the 619, getting some good pace. Now, I wonder if he took an extra set of tyres in that last stop after getting some repairs, because he has got some really good pace at the moment in that repaired truck.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at it, keeping an eye on the championship contenders. Lachlan Urquhart now up into 11th place and battling with Kay Donnelly. So Kay's now dropped down to the rear of the top 10 in 10th place, and he's coming under threat from Urquhart in the 42 truck.
Yeah, we can see that right now, and they are battling out with Riley Curtis as well. There's a good little battle going on here for position, and this is for a slot inside the top 10. Scott Lefebvre up there as well. He is really holding a strong position at the moment in 8th, and he's sort of building up a little bit of a gap over Riley too, so that could be crucial for him in that position. See if he can actually get that gap up a little bit and get himself into a nice comfortable position.
Yeah, back up the front, Carl, we see Purnell now just dropping off, letting those 2 Sim boys of Maxwell and Wellman go. I think he's shown he can have the speed there when he needs it, and he's just dropped back now, looking after those tyres and maybe trying to save just that little bit of fuel to stretch his stint out.
Yeah, and I wonder if the tyres are just starting to fall into the hands of Jason Martin here. He's started upping his pace a little bit and closing the gap. Remember, it is very high track temperature here tonight at Texas. That is going to hurt these cars in the stint. If you go too hard too early, you're going to overheat the tyres, and it's going to be like driving around on used horrible chewing gum. They will not want to stick to the road. You're going to be sliding all over the place. The car is not going to handle it. So building up slowly and gently into a stint is sometimes the better option, and it can leave you in a good position as the race unfolds.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see Martin really getting the head of speed up now. He's definitely eased into this stint, and he's all over the back of Maxwell. Correction, he's now alongside Maxwell. as you ride on board with him.
And you see there, just getting past Todd Maxfield, moving himself up into second position is Jason Martin, as he moves himself up the field slowly but surely, and now closing the gap on Gary Wellman as well. Give you an idea about the speed of these cars as well, up to 100 and almost 180 miles per hour, 280 odd kilometers per hour. Absolutely hooning it around here at the moment. And on board we are with Jason Martin. He's thinking about where he wants to make the move. I think he's going to want to go down the inside of Wellman, but he's got the pace where he can just send it round the outside and fly his way through past the mean green machine of Gary Wellman. And Jason Martin back into the lead.
Yeah, and I've just been keeping an eye on Purnell and Maxwell. Purnell's made the move underneath through the tri-oval. Maxwell drifted up track and touched the wall, and that just gave Purnell a great run. And now Dave Douglas is making the move on Maxwell back into for fourth place. So again, Carl, we spoiled for some great battles right throughout the field. Oh, Douglas really loose there through the tri-oval.
Just got away with that one by the skin of his teeth. I was about to say Toddy Maxfield was looking, it's just struggling with the rear of that truck. Back end was stepping out on him as well, but they are all starting to struggle there. Some of the drivers really struggling now with those tyres. Looks like temperatures have peaked for them, and they are now in that stage where the truck does not want to steer properly. They're getting tons. The thing is getting as tight as you like it, and it is getting up close to that wall, and sometimes too close for comfort.
Yeah, and we just seen there Purnell back past Wellman for second place. So it's going to be interesting as we get towards the end of this stint. Are we going to see another caution? Are we? Oh, Maxwell there getting very, very loose. As I say, are we going to see green flag stops? What people have to hope for is that they don't get trapped in pit lane as they come down for their service and a caution comes out, because that will close pit lane exit.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's got to be so cautious and just want to be in the right place at the right time in a situation like that.
And while we're keeping an eye on that, I'm keeping an eye on up the front. And I can tell you now, Purnell has closed right up on Martin and actually making the move for the lead. And he has done it. He's done it through turns 1 and 2. Purnell back to the lead of the race.
And what do we say about those drivers just taking it easy in the start of that stint? Keep an eye for them, because it is going to come good for them latterly, and it has done indeed. Chris Purnell absolutely flying again. He has got some pace to burn at the moment. Pulling out a 0.4 of a second gap on Jason Martin is no easy task, but he is doing it at the moment. Dave Douglas as well, he looks to have gotten that car back settled. The bulking Bronco that he is driving tonight, he has managed to tame it once again and get himself back into contention in this race. Meanwhile, Lachlan Oakvio still trying to get past Cade Donnelly. Not quite able to get the pace there, and the overlap on him. Has managed to get it up past Ryan Curtis at the moment, but still sitting down there in 9th position. Well, hoping he can get a little bit more pace and close in on Jason Martin to keep that points gap manageable.
Yeah, definitely, and we've got another move up the front here. Norman Clark and now moves up to 4th place as he gets past Shane Bowen. And Norman really has got some pace in that truck there right now. So keep an eye on him. He may even come into the picture for a race win again tonight.
Yeah, the dark horse himself, Mr. Norman Clark, is absolutely having a solid run out there tonight. and he has got some great front runners pace. And look, this is really good news for his championship as well. As I said, he sits fourth, I think, in the title contention, but tonight could well get him a little bit closer towards the front as well. And he's had some stellar results recently, Norman, taken a couple of victories this season too, but he would dearly love to get one here tonight in the trucks, I am sure. But he has to get past Dave Douglas, Jason Martin and Chris Purnell. A killer's row of names if you've ever seen one.
Yeah, definitely right there. But Norton Clark's are pretty good at looking after his tyres. We have seen that through the races. And I think Urquio's dropped right off the back of Donnelly. So just start letting some heat get out of those tyres, and probably look for another run.
Yeah, you've got to have patience in a race like this, and sometimes it's best to just not push the battle too hard. Just drop back a little bit, let the tyres breathe, let the tyres relax a little bit, let them drop a little bit of that temperature, and then get back into the race. And you know, it's amazing how that can affect the car. You know, you can sometimes get yourself right back up to the position where you were, or even higher, if you just drive a little bit slower for a few laps.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what they call just cooling the tyres down, and then working out where you want to have an attack. Slowly build your pace back up.
Yeah, these are all key features of oval racing. It's amazing. It's such a underrated skill as well. It's one of those skills that can easily be just neglected as you're learning the ropes and getting used to oval racing. And it's very easy to just get suckered into overdriving the cars. And we're seeing Robert Barton at the moment down in 21st position. Looks like he might be pulling into the lane as he's about to drop down a lap here in the number 9. But look, a tough track to have your first race on here at Texas, especially tonight, where it is such a high track temperature. It's not going to be an easy race to run. It's going to be one of those races where you're going to be sitting there thinking, I really do not have speed or pace tonight, because you think you're worse than you actually are, because it is such a tricky place. And these drivers up the front are doing such a good job of management at the moment. They make anybody that's just doing anything just slightly wrong look almost amateur.
And by no means are these guys amateurs. And we can see now Norman Clark up in the 4th and closing in. So this battle at the front is going to be a 4-way truck battle very shortly.
And we can see Jason Martin coming back at Chris Purnell now. Martin's been sitting there just letting his tyres breathe, letting his car settle in, and now he's going on the attack. Purnell built up a nice lead over Martin, but is evaporating now as they go 45 laps into this stint. Jason Martin sitting pretty. Purnell just goes a little bit too tight, gets a little wiggle on. Dave Douglas catches the wall as well. So easy to make a mistake on this track, so easy to get caught out as well.
Yeah, definitely, and Clark would be sitting there saying, that's it, boys, you just keep knocking each other around. I'll sit here and I'll take the spoils when you crash out.
As we know, Mark, I'm not proud enough to say I'm happy to take places from people crashing. I'm more than happy to do it, and I'm sure Norman will feel the same way sitting back there as well.
I'm not shy of it either, mate. If you want to give me a position, I'm happy to take it. But the one good thing is we've got the 3 makes up in the top 3. We've got Chev, Toyota and Ford all. Caution flag is out.
Caution flag is out, and it is between our championship leader and Todd Maxfield, I think. So what has happened here? Let's see if we can find it on the replay. As we jump back to the replay here, Maxfield catches the wall. That's not enough to bring out the caution, but he's lost momentum. He's battling it out with Cade Donnelly here. Donnelly's going to go down the inside. What are we going to see here between Urquio and Maxfield? Because they've made contact, I believe, and Maxfield's just got the rear loose on the rear's just gone up on the exit, and just a little bit of contact between himself and Urquio, and Toddy Maxfield has gone around.
Yep, and that's bad luck for Maxfield. So just keeping an eye on these front cars.
As they will all be coming into pit lane 2 by 2, and they are going to be coming in for a well-deserved fresh set of tyres, you got to say.
Most definitely. Those tyres will be screaming. They've done 48, nearly 50 laps on those tyres, so be definitely looking for a fresh set of Goodyears. Purnell into his pit bay. Up on the right. Up on the left.
So who's going to make it out first?
He's made a blinder of a stop. Just not quick enough to get out in front of Martin.
Martin, 14.1 stationary. Purnell, 14.4. Absolutely nothing between them. Dave Douglas, 14.5. They were all extremely close together. But it was Jason Martin coming back out into the lead. The top 4 remain as they are. They did not really change any position in that stop. Gary Wellman sitting back there in 5th position, managing to jump up ahead of Shane Bowen, I think. So back under caution mark, and well, we're going into the next stage of the race.
Well, they should be able to make it home from here, so don't expect to see anyone down pit lane again unless we do have another caution. I'd say they'll come down and throw that a set of tyres on and continue on their merry way. They should be able to make it on fuel, because we'll definitely probably do one more lap behind the pace car.
Yeah, with 52 laps to go, it should be pretty much safe. So, final stage of tonight's race.
But that's only if our little spies are being correct on the fuel. We've seen that in the past, that they've told us a little bit of a stretched truth.
Yes, absolutely. Our spies, they like to make things tough for us sometimes, and I'm sure they take great delight in feeding us the wrong information. And they know that we can't tell people who they are, because they're our spies, so we can't out them. You know, they get away with that every week.
Yeah. So we need to see Norman move up onto that high line. So we should get one to go this time by.
As the pace car lights go out.
I'll see Norman move up to that high line. Now, Martin has always had some great starts from this low line. Where will he go, do you think, Carl? Do you think he'll go early? We've seen him in the past mix it up a little bit, go late, go early. So it'll be just interesting to see where he decides to take the race on again.
Yeah, I'm expecting Jason to go right at the edge of the restart zone. I reckon he's going to leave it late and try and catch Purnell off just a little bit. But that's always the strategy, isn't it? It's just trying to second guess the car on the outside and just just cause them just to mistime the launch, because you can gain a huge amount of time and advantage by doing that. It's such a crucial skill, and it's such a different way of getting the restarts done. It's all down to the 21 here, and it is going to be a race off the start finish line. It's always a tricky little skill to get absolutely perfect, but the leader has to hold his pace here. So right now, holding pace at 90 kph, keeping that pace, and then he goes early. Jason drops the hammer and goes nice and early, catches Purnell off guard a little bit. Look at the gap he has gotten already as Jason Martin gets a beautiful start.
Yeah, Dave Douglas hanging tough there on that inside. Didn't want to let Purnell down. Purnell's got a little bit of a drive off the outside line, and now he's dropped back into second place. Dave Douglas has dropped off the back of Purnell a little bit. So Purnell and Martin have decided to go early and try and erase each other here.
Yeah, they are going quickly. A little bit further back, we've got Shane Bowen looking to make a move on Norman Clark at the moment, seeing what he could do. And see if he can actually work his way ahead of that group of cars. Riley Curtis battling there as well, and a huge furball going on down the pack as well. Between probably about 16th to 7th position, it's absolutely nose to tail. Battling all over the place as Shane Bowen makes the move on Norman Clark, moves his way up. Meanwhile, Jason Martin and Chris Purnell round number 2, and Purnell gets himself into the lead of the race.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't think I'd be like to be leading that last lap as we're coming into the checkered flag down turns 3 and 4, because I think if Purnell's in second, he's definitely going to have a great run. He just seems to be able to turn that pace on when he really needs to.
Yeah, he's definitely having a good run here tonight, is Chris, and good to see as well. As we said, no rig rust showing for Chris Purnell, and well, it's like the good old days of ANZCAR at the moment. We've got Chris Purnell, Jason Martin and Dave Douglas up the front. We have said those 3 names many a time, but not so much in recent memory.
No, but I'm just looking further back. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, almost a tail. Urquio now trying to work the outside over Donnelly, I think it was. Yes, Donnelly, and he's got going to go probably 3 wide here, and no, they've thought better of it. Urquio just drops off the back, trying to get. Oh, Norman Clark gets a little bit loose and almost gets up into Curtis.
They are definitely having to hold on to these cars. They are not easy to drive here tonight. It is all about throttle control and just getting that car looped up through the exit. But some great racing going on here, and they are racing hard with each other. Kate Donnelly really doing well. Urquio just dropping off a little bit as Donnelly gets a little wiggle on there as well. But they are all over the place. The racing is great up here at the front. And then up in the lead, again, the racing is going on as Jason Martin takes the lead back from Chris Purnell.
Not for long, because look, Purnell swapped to that low line. He's going to run down through that tri-oval low. He's going to stick his nose in. I don't know who got the point there for the race lead. It was tight. Purnell back to the lead. This is backwards and forwards. And don't be surprised if we start to see Bowen get involved in this, because he's not scared of mixing it up either.
Absolutely. Shane Bowen very, very quick and very level-headed as well. And as we said, been taking those little nips and sort of leading up to sort of trying to take a victory. It's not quite come his way yet. Same, you could say, for Scott Lefebvre as well. He is absolutely on it at the moment too, and flying up towards the front after taking victory at Kota, I believe, with the Aussie Admirals one.
Yes, he definitely did. He drove away from the field, but Scotty Lefebvre has been doing a lot of racing. He's not only racing here at ANZCAR over at the Aussie Outlaws. He's also doing as much as he can with the Australian NASCAR series. He's getting plenty of laps in, and every time he comes out, you can see him improving just that little bit more.
Absolutely, getting that seat time in is crucial, and he is really coming on leaps and bounds. Another driver that has come a long way, doing some great stuff. The Valve team really doing nicely with their working on the oval side of things, teaching the skills to the road races and showing them what they need to do on the ovals. It's not just an easy turn left. There are a lot more skills involved. It catches a lot of road racers out when they first join, but there's a lot of talent that you can use from road racing to put into effect on an oval and get yourself some really good speed as well. Very much a symbiotic relationship. If you can get the road racing side down, you can get a lot of speed on the oval as well.
So we now have 40 laps to go. Who is it going to be? As I said, these guys should be able to make it home on fuel. I don't think we'll see anyone down pit lane unless we see another caution, Carl. And I think everyone will come to pit lane to take a fresh set of tyres.
Just depends how many tyres they've got left up their sleeve. That could be a defining factor in the race as well, Mark. As we know, tyre limitations can sometimes really make a difference in a race like this.
Yeah, definitely. And just at the back there, we can see Gary Wellman having another great run in the 45 truck. He's now up into the 5th spot. Norman Clark is coming back, and Dave Douglas is just behind Norman Clark. So it's definitely going to be interesting this last 40 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Norman Clark does not want to see is another caution. He wants us to run green. He is one of those drivers that has long run pace to spare, but the short runs tend to be his Achilles heel, and that is something that he will want to see. A nice long green flag period here where he can take advantage of running those tyres out while other people start to falter as they wear the tyres down a little bit. He will be happy with getting those tyres out on the track and getting some nice runs with them.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we also now see Lachlan Urquio up into the top 10 for the first time tonight, and he's making a great run. He's all over the back of Dave Douglas, back down in battling for 7th and 8th position.
As we see Jason Martin taking the lead again, the battle between Purnell and Martin is very much on, and it is Jason Martin getting himself back up into the lead. Mitch versus Valve. It's some very entertaining stuff going on track at the moment.
Now, I know Scotty has been working a lot with Jamie Nankervis, who unfortunately couldn't make tonight's race with drafting. So, but we have seen these trucks get very loose too when they get down on fuel in the draft. So, it'll be interesting to see how these two Valve cars work together to try and get one of them the race win.
Yeah, I think they're going to be trying, but Jason Martin has played a blinder with his tyres at the moment. He has got some really good pace to spare, and now you can see that Shane Bowen is coming back at Scotty Lefebvre as well, and he is really putting the pressure on him. It looks like Bowen has managed to just keep a little bit more tyre life in there, and is making it work at the moment. As we got a truck going around, Maxi Marshall is going around in the background. And what has happened to the 08? He was having a good run up the field, but he has brought out the caution flag. Let's see if we can bring the replay up here for Maxi Marshall. Maybe even a little bit before then. I'll have to do a quick rewind, as Matty Ray was also going around too. So contact between or was it Matty Ray? Yeah, contact between Matty Ray and Maxi Marshall. And then all
Looks
carnage
like,
has broken loose there.
yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like just both of them got a little bit loose together, and Maxi came up into Matty Ray, but yeah, it's just one of those ones where it's a little bit too close to make a call on it, and there'll be better people than us to look at it later on after the race.
I'm sure the stewards will be looking at that one. Jump on board here with Matty Ray.
Well, you see Matty Ray go to the outside.
I think that's the lap prior. We'll have to just jump ahead a little bit here.
Sorry, so Matty Ray goes to the inside. Maxie just got loose there, you can see, and he's Matt. It's mate, that's a racing incident as far as I can see. Just got loose and couldn't control it and come down into Matty Ray, and unfortunately, that's seen both Matty Ray and Maxie Marshall go round.
No major harm, I think, to either of those trucks by the looks of it. They didn't take a heavy whack into the wall, luckily. So they should both be relatively unscathed. Maybe need a couple of little rubs and a little bit of duct tape somewhere just to get it back to full operating conditions. But that has brought the caution out. And, well, everybody staying out on track, Mark.
Yeah, it's something I would have thought that they would have come down and thrown a set of rubber on, but hey, they're out there doing it, not us.
I suspect maybe that they might be on their final set of tyres if they're all sticking out like this, just keeping a set up their sleeve if we get another late caution. Surprised we didn't see anybody coming in for a, just for a bit of a gamble. I mean, personally, I might have come in for a bit of a gamble with that one and left myself a bit vulnerable at the end if there was another caution. But if we didn't get a caution, you'd probably be leaving yourself in a very good position.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going to be interesting again. You know, we've seen 2 or 3 now restarts between Martin and Purnell. So Purnell will be a wait to Martin going early. If I was Martin this time, I'd wait right to the end of that restart zone.
What will he do? That's the big question here, Mark. And well, it's going to be interesting to see what he does do in this one, because he has got Purnell and Lefebvre right behind him, and they are going to be very hungry to try and get the leap on him and work together to stop Martin from running away. Jason Martin, the lone Mitch Motorsport car out here tonight, so he has got no teammates around him. Not that he often needs the support, he is very much a one-man army, but he is out there all on his lonesome. Up there as well, we got the Cobalt Racing entry of Shane Bowen. He has got some teammates out there, but not close enough to offer support. Gary Wellman for the Sim Boys up there, the 45. He is sitting well, and don't discount Norman Clark too. He's going to be sitting there. He has affiliations with the Valve team. He has some friends in the group and works with the boys, and I'm sure he'll be cheering them on too.
Yeah, definitely right. Now the big question is, if I was Scotty, I'd be right up on the back of Mitch and the Mitch Motorsport truck there of Martin, and giving him maybe a little bit of a rub and saying, "Hey, come on, we'll see if we can get you a little bit of a slap over the wrist."
All's fair in love and racing on a NASCAR track.
That's it.
It's like fourth caution of the night. We've had 17 laps under caution, 30 laps remaining, just under 10 lead changes and 4 separate leaders for tonight's race. What are we going to see in this final half, Mark?
Some bare knuckle fighting for race win.
Yeah, I get the feeling that's going to be very much the case. It's going to be a absolute battle to the end here, and you just get the feeling that we are going to see some epic racing coming on in the near future. We're going to jump on board with Scott Lefebvre and get ready for this final run to the flag. Will we see any more cautions? Will it go green? We're going to find out here on Performance E streaming. A big thank you to everybody joining us here tonight. As always, we wouldn't be able to keep the broadcast going if it wasn't for you all viewing. Always a big thank you to everybody coming along and joining us here tonight. But pace car is pulled in. We're about to go green. When does Martin launch it? He's waiting, he goes in the middle. Goes nicely, and again it gets a nice jump over the pack. Purnell gets away nicely, just slots in behind, and Lefebvre keeps himself up into P3.
Yeah, Bowen's hung tough there on the outside, but he's just not had the truck pace to do it. But Martin again checked out on that restart. Purnell was able to keep with him, but we've definitely got a gap now out to 0.03 of a second.
Never easy to beat Jason Martin, but meanwhile Scott Lefebvre has just got past Chris Purnell, and he is flying up there. Lefebvre moving up, and Purnell just dropping back a little bit. What's happened to Purnell here? Is he just struggling to get those tyres back up to temperature? Just struggling at this stage of the race. He's almost lost a position to Shane Bowen as well.
I think this is a bit of a team tactic. It seemed like Lefebvre was a little bit quicker than Purnell, so we may see these guys hook up nose to tail. But at the moment, looks like Scotty ran a little bit wide. May have got a big push through the front end of that truck. Now that's opened given the lead back a nice little half-second gap now out to Martin.
Yeah, it looked like Lefebvre there was looking to run a slightly higher line, just trying something different, and he absolutely found it way too tight. That thing did not want to turn and found himself wandering up the track, and that's swapped the positions back in favour of Chris Purnell. Shane Bowen keeping himself there, and he's looking to make a move here. He's going to try and get underneath Lefebvre here and get himself up into P3. He's got a nice run through the corner. Can he make it pay off? Looks like he's going to, as Lefebvre just gives the wall a little rub there, just that tiny kiss. That's going to scrape a little bit of momentum out of the truck, and that could be the opportunity that Bowen needs to move himself up into P3 as he does it. Lefebvre looking to get the shot under as Norman Clark into the wall. He just saves it. Save of the night to Norman Clark there. I think there may have been just a tiny bit of contact that sent him down the track as well. Big moment there for Norman as he just gets away with that. Meanwhile, Gary Wellman giving the wall a quick kiss as we get on to the tri-oval section.
Yeah, look, we're inside the last 30. Everyone's going to start really pushing hard now. Just people just need to settle down. We've still got a long way to go. You know, we've got nearly 60 miles of racing still to go here tonight at Texas.
Yeah, you often forget just how much distance these things travel, and they absolutely eat up the miles. It does not take long to go 60 miles in one of these trucks when you are going at a good lick of pace. But it is still 60 laps. Meanwhile, Dave Douglas is on the hunt. He is flying out there. Set the fastest lap of the race a couple of laps ago, and now he's looking to work his way up in front of Gary Wellman and move himself up through the positions. Meanwhile, up the front, it's still between Purnell and Martin. Martin has the advantage at the moment, but Purnell is closing in on him as we get down to about 20 laps to go here tonight at Texas for the ANZCAR trucks here on Performance E streaming.
You can see Urquio in the background there starting to come into that group. But if Purnell and Martin just keep racing nice and cleanly, they're going to open up another nice little gap. But we see now Gary Wellman losing a little bit of ground to Lefebvre.
Another man on the charge is Dave Douglas, who is looking to work his way up into P3 as he goes round the high side of Shane Bowen and pushes himself up into third position. It is go time for Double D, and the number 10 is flying out there at the moment and trying to close the gap now on the two leaders of Martin and Purnell, who, if they start battling it out and start fighting hard, it will give Dave the advantage to just close that gap. We know Dave has got some serious pace in that truck tonight. Can he get up there and back into contention in this race? A little bit further back, Wellman and Quio battling it out for position as well. Plenty of opportunities to be had still in this race, plenty of positions to be gained, but this is the battle we're going to focus on for now. It's the lead of the race. It's battle for P1, and currently it's Martin having the advantage.
Yeah, but that gap is just opening slightly, then the next lap it's closing up again. So Purnell's hanging tough, but we can see here Dave Douglas really closing up on the back of Purnell's Toyota.
As Purnell just runs a little bit wide through the exit of the corner, that's going to be all that Douglas needs to see as he goes sailing up the inside and moves himself up into second position. Double D has got the bit between his teeth, and the casting couch man is flying through the pack up into P2. Now it is the battle between Douglas and Martin. These two have got some history between them, but can Douglas take the advantage here tonight at Texas? He is going to be trying as hard as possible. Martin just runs a little bit wide. Douglas able to take that tighter exit out the corner, and once again using it to his advantage as they come across the tri-oval section.
Yeah, Purnell will be saying, that's it boys, you just keep battling here. But Martin's moved up track. He's decided to let Douglas have that. Martin will try and save a little bit of those tyres for a run back within that last 10 laps. So just keep an eye on these guys because they are pushing very hard.
Racing extremely hard. The top three at the moment, it's Douglas, Martin and Purnell. And gotta say, at the moment it's looking good for Double D. Dave Douglas, he has got some really good pace underneath him at the moment in that F-150. The A1 Sim Sports driver is taking the lead and is starting to gap Jason Martin.
Yeah, I was just looking at the times. That last lap, Dave Douglas did a 31.9. Martin and Purnell were both in the 32.1. So
you know what it is, Mark, don't you? I've only just noticed this on my timing screen. There's only one car in the top group that's pitted. Guess which one it is?
Yes.
You know I said I was surprised nobody took the gamble. Well, one driver has taken the gamble, and that man is Dave Douglas.
Great move by Douglas.
If we go green to the end, it is going to look like the perfect move from Dave Douglas. Meanwhile, Lachlan Urquio moving his way up the field, just getting past Scotty Lefebvre and moved himself up into fifth position. The battle continues for second place, though, between Martin and Purnell. And they are fighting once again. Purnell getting down the inside. He's going to try and force it down inside of Jason Martin, and he's going to get that position as Chris Purnell moves himself up into second place. Oh, Gary Wellman flying across the infield, taking it onto the grass, makes contact with Riley Curtis. Riley Curtis just saves it. That was almost a caution, but they've managed to keep it going.
Back up the front now. Douglas has nearly got that gap out to a second over Martin, or I should say, yes, over Martin, because they're battling again between the two of them, Martin and Purnell. This is going to go down to the wire, this race, for the maybe not so much for first place, but for second place. that's definitely on between Purnell and Martin. Purnell
Absolutely.
will want to come back to racing with ANZCAR with the highest position he can, and Martin will want to stay there because he's the current championship leader.
Absolutely, and I'm just about to say that moment with Riley Curtis and Gary Wellman. I just imagine Dave Douglas will be puckered up at the moment after hearing about that, because if that caution flag flew, that would have been his race scuppered, you got to say.
Yeah, definitely, because if Purnell and Martin have got tyres, they would have been in pit lane to throw those tyres on.
Yeah, if we see a caution any time now, we are going to see everybody other than Dave Douglas coming in for fresh tyres. As Purnell catches the wall. He has done the same as Gary Wellman, but he just saves it across the grass. But that is the end of the battle for second place for now, you've got to say. He has managed to keep it up in third, but taking a big lick of damage, and that is what Lachlan Urquio wanted to see. He would have much preferred to have seen Jason Martin making that mistake, but this could be an opportunity for Urquio to make his way up into third position and close the gap on his championship rival, Jason Martin.
Yeah, definitely would have been as you said, seen that purple car be doing that, but great save again by Purnell. Back up the front, we now have nearly a 2-second gap between Douglas and Martin. So Dave has definitely done the right thing in taking the chance. But we've got 8 laps remaining. If we, as you said, Carl, if we see a caution, it's going to be a hell of a race, and we will probably see some overtime.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out as the field come flying through. Driver on a bit of a charge, another driver that has come in relatively early and looks like taking some fresh tyres is the 550 of Tristan Koch. He has flown his way up into the top 15. He's up in P11 at the moment, trying to close the gap on Gary Wellman, not quite able to do it. Michael Campbell, we saw him taking a bit of a lick in one of those cautions, but managed to work his way back up into 12th position. And Matty Ray there, sitting just behind Brad Fenley. He has worked his way back up into 14th position after getting caught up in that last caution. A good recovery from Mr. Matty Ray. Maxi Marshall sitting back in 17th position, the other driver involved in that, just not quite able to close the gap up so far. Meanwhile, we've got the fights starting to happen. Kay Donnelly and Shane Bowen. Now Lachlan Urquio and Chris Purnell with 6 laps to go. This looks like this is where the action is.
I think this is the real battle here for third place now, and we can see Lachlan Urquio close the gap up down that back straight. Got a great run out of turn 2.
As they both get a little wiggle on the rear of those trucks, just getting loose. The fuel is burning off. They're getting to the end of their fuel stint now. Those trucks will be light over the rear axles, and it is showing as they both get a tail wiggle coming out of the corner. And that's the one thing you just don't really get prepared for in these things, is as the fuel burns off, the rear of the trucks gets lighter and lighter. Purnell forcing Urquio to the tightest line possible, defending. Urquio keeping it down there. Does he hold it? He does. A nice driving by the two of them. Very defensive driving, very aggressive driving here for the battle for third. Purnell wants this podium, but so does Urquio. And Kate Donnelly's just sitting back there, rubbing his hands together, going, I am here ready to pick up the pieces when you two have a bit of a moment.
Yeah, Lockie's really got some speed down here. He just can't get close enough to get a good run around the outside. But don't be surprised if we do see Urquio get a run and try and pass to the outside coming down this section of the track.
Will we see a little bit of elbows out? Will we see a little bit of bumping going on between these cars? They are racing very hard at the moment Purnell has done a great job of defending, and Urquio is just starting to falter a little bit here. Cade Donnelly starting to put him under pressure, but again Urquio gets down the inside, tries to make it down the inside here through 3 and 4. Can he get through the exit? Can he get there nicely? Not quite. Purnell able to just keep the car into a solid position, keep himself ahead of Urquio. As we are getting closer and closer to that white flag mark.
Yeah, you can see there, Urquio really getting loose, coming off the turns now, and Donnelly now closing up. This is now a three-way battle for third place.
They are racing hard. Meanwhile, the final lap is here, and it is Dave Douglas coming around, and he is absolutely paid off tonight. He took the gamble here in Texas, and that gamble is paying off tonight. He is going to be coming home for victory here at Texas, with Jason Martin just behind him. Once we see the checkered flag, we'll jump back for that battle for third position. But it is Dave Douglas sliding it to victory here at Texas. Meanwhile, the battle for third is on, and it's going to be a battle between the two. Contact between Urquio and Purnell, and that leaves it to Donnelly. Donnelly was sitting there waiting to pick up the pieces, and he does perfectly. It's Cade Donnelly for Simboys coming home third. Well, Mark.
Hey, I'm just dumbfounded. Urquio had to do it, like he needed that third place. But unfortunately for him, that's dropped him down to fifth now. And Purnell is a fourth.
A, well, dramatic end to the race, but this man here, Mr. Dave Douglas, comes home for a emphatic victory here in Texas, and he has done this burnout, earned these donouts. Burn it down, Dave, burn it down. A fantastic victory here tonight in Texas.
Or we see the traditional bang of the motor.
It's either going to be the motor or the tyres that go bang. Which will it be first? We will find out in just a couple of moments. Absolutely loving this victory. Dave Douglas, a very popular win for him, and a very decent job he has done tonight. Dave being kind to the mechanics tonight, not blowing the motor or the tyres.
Definitely have to say something to him. Oh, hang on, he's still going for some more down the wrong way down pit lane. So
there's still a chance. There's still a chance for that to go pop. There we go. That's the spirit. That's what we love to see. As the engine blows, Dave Douglas settles the car in, and he's gonna be ecstatic with that win, I'm sure. So let's run through the finishing order for tonight's race. And it was Dave Douglas taking victory here tonight for A1 Sim Sports. The casting couch man coming out good. It's Jason Martin coming home at second for Mitch Motorsport. Cade Donnelly for the Sim Boys comes home in third position. Chris Purnell on return fourth. Fifth for Lachlan Urquio. Sixth for Shane Bowen. Norman Clark comes home in seventh. Eighth for Scotty Lefevre. Riley Curtis in ninth position. Gary Wellman in 10th. As we roll over the pages, Tristan Koch coming home in 11th position after a good run at the end of the race, finishing just ahead of Brad Fenley in 12th, 13th for Matty Ray, 14th for Michael Campbell, Troy Davidson 15th, 16th for Maxie Marshall, Alexander Sheridan in 17th, 18th for Ben Henker, Greg Shelton in 19th, Robert Barton in 20th. Toddy Maxfield comes home 21st, Michael Schroeder 22nd after making that little mistake and making a bit of contact. Nigel Patton comes home in 23rd. 24th for Noddy Tompkins, Steve Hoppett out early with some health issues, and Tom Williams out even earlier, unfortunately, in the 55.
Well, Carl, another great race in the trucks here tonight. It's week 8. Next week we're on to Talladega. So what type of events are we going to have there?
Absolutely, a bit of a lottery for the drivers as we head back to the super speedways. Talladega, an absolute favourite of mine, 80 laps around the place, should be exciting, so we hope you join us there for that one. Of course, it's going to be a very different style of racing off Talladega in the trucks, but I'm sure it will be just as exciting.
Yeah, definitely will. Well, we now see all the drivers sitting out there in the green room. We might pull up our third place getter from the Sim Boys. Kay Donnelly, welcome to the booth, mate, and congratulations on we won't say hand it to you for third place because you did have to fight hard, but congratulations on third place, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, it was a bit of a Bradbury moment, I guess, but it was a good race. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Look, we've seen you battle hard and long with Urquio through that middle section of the race, where you just dropped back to the back of the top 10. Some great battles right through this series so far, and tonight's race also didn't disappoint.
Yeah, it was just trying to conserve a bit of rubber, like it was a bit of a tough call when to push, and when Dave dove into the pits there, I was like, it's a good strategy if there's no yellows that come out, but and then obviously it paid off for him.
So did you have another set of tyres up your sleeve?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. Both Carl and myself were asking the same question. Who's going to be the brave one and duck down and take those tyres? And Dave Douglas was the only one.
Yeah, he sure was. He was, perfect strategy from Dave.
Well, mate, off to Dega next week. A bit of a difference. We've come from the short tracks now. We're back on the 1.5 miles, and then you boys get to really stretch your legs in those trucks next week on that 2 mile super speedway. You looking forward to getting back to the wide open spaces?
Yeah, for sure, mate. Yeah, no, Tona will be sick. Yeah.
Mm. All right, mate. Well, before we kick you out and move on to the next person, we'll give you a chance to send out your love to your sponsors and supporters, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Hot Toddy's Heating Installs, United Electrical, and shout out Sim Boys. You.
Very good, mate. I might have to get in touch with that heater mob and see if they'll come up and do an install here in Victoria for us.
Mates rates.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for your time tonight. And again, congratulations on third place.
Cheers, mate.
And we will pull up the Purple People Eater of the number 21 truck, Jason Martin for the Mitch Boys. Welcome to the booth again this season, mate, and congratulations on second place.
Oh, cheers, mate. That was a good fun race, that one.
Yeah, you and Purnell had some great battles there. We'd look away for a quick second, and we'd come back to the front, and then Purnell was in the lead. Then we'll look away again to look at something else, come back, and you were back in the lead. So it was great battling very early in the race between the three of you, yourself, Dave Douglas there, and Purnell.
Yeah, wanted to race hard, but also had to look after the tyres because that setup was burning up the right rear. So you couldn't push too hard, otherwise it was going to cook it. But yeah, it was great fun still.
Yeah, definitely. Mate, look, the racing this season has been out of this world. It's been close. Just about every race we've seen this year out of the first 7. Off to Talladega next week. Looking forward to getting back onto the super speedway, or you're not a fan?
Oh, I can't stand them. Too much luck involved. I always get wrecked in the last 5 or so laps, so yeah, not a fan of them.
Fair enough. Well, mate, I've lost count. It's not the top step, but it's still a lot better. Finishing 2 spots or 3 spots above your rival Lachlan Urquio tonight.
Yeah, not too worried about where I finish when I have a good fun race like that. Even if I finished back in 5th or 10th, I would have enjoyed that and had a good night's racing.
Yeah, it definitely was, and mate, we've got to take our hats off to the 3 of you blokes. Really putting on a great show for not only us here in the booth, but our viewers tonight.
Yeah, I think it would have looked good with all that side-by-side stuff.
Yeah, it definitely did, mate. Definitely did. Well, mate, before we kick you out, shout out to our sponsors and supporters.
Yeah, well done, Dave, on the win. Good strategy call. Should have been back there with us, so it would have been more funny if he would joined us. Got to thank the Mitch Motorsports boys, Leppy Motorsports Concepts for sponsoring us, and of course Performance E-Streaming for doing the broadcast, and you guys in the booth.
No worries, mate. Well, again, thanks for your time and congratulations on a hard-fought 2nd place tonight. It wasn't no easy trip for you, and we'll see you at Dega next week.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, all right. So we welcome Mr. DD to the our race winner tonight. Congratulations, Dave, and on a hard-fought battle tonight.
Thanks there, Mark. What's going on, boys? It's never die wondering, I say.
Well, mate, we were, Carl and I were talking as that last caution come out about who still had a set of tyres up their sleeve. It looks like most guys did, but you were the only brave one to come in and throw them on.
Yeah, it was if brave or stupid, I don't know. It was pretty like now it looks like I'm expert, but it could have dead set made me look like an idiot. So yeah, I knew everyone sort of pretty much had that extra set, so I thought I'll watch what the guys at the front do. Like sort of Jason, I felt like my race was with Jason and Chris, and I thought if they don't come, I'll come. If they come, I'll stay out, and I'll just do the opposite. And so they sort of sealed my fate. Then I came, and then no one else came. Oh man, that one. And then I changed the tyres, and I was only like 97%. And I thought, man, these guys have still got a fair bit of tyre left. Like I was saving pretty hard, but that's why I dropped back to the field there. But yeah, like it was just crazy how much the extra grip was just from those extra. I don't know how many laps it was. 10 laps, 8 laps, was it? I don't know.
11
No,
laps.
30 laps.
No, 11 laps.
Oh yeah, that was a stint. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was night and day, and then I just. I was surprised how quick I come through the field. To be honest, like it surprised me, and I thought, right, if it stays green, we're on. Like it's game set match. But if it goes yellow, then we're done. You know, so it was always 50-50, and look, we come out all right on this time.
Yeah, well, mate, it's good to see you back out racing. Your beloved Broncos got the night off tonight, so you've been
that's it.
Mate, off to Dega next week. Thoughts? We're going to see you out there.
Yeah, the Bronx play the Raiders on Saturday night at 7:30. So, mate, we'll be here Thursday night at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. kickoff for the green flag, I think it is, and hopefully the Roosters got up because I tipped them tonight.
Oh, dearie me. Well, mate, before we let you go, shout out to sponsors and supporters.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Riley, biggest shout out to Riley, RCD, Riley Coast Designs, A1 Sim Sports, man behind the designs and that sort of thing. Like these things all look tricked out and look top notch. So it's good to come out here and rub them against the wall and bang them against other cars and stuff too. So that's probably really about it. Riley, hopefully he has a good couple of runs. He's been up there pretty consistent and in the sort of top 5 in the championship for a while. So hopefully he can finish off strong. And yeah, we'll go to Dagger and see if we can win it and go from there. And obviously ANZCAR admin and you boys on the show and keeping us entertained.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, again, congratulations on a hard-fought battle tonight here at Texas, and we thank you for your time, and we'll hopefully talking to you again next week.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, boys. Did you like that burnout, man? That went for ages. That was a sick burnout. I hope you watched it.
Well, we were talking about it and saying, hey, is Dave going to keep up the tradition of having the motor go pop? And when you come back down pit lane backwards, we thought, oh, no, he's let us down. But you burn them up again and
that's it, mate.
motor go pop.
Good. I'm glad I did that then. Cheers, boys.
All right, mate. Thank you very much. And again, congratulations.
Yeah, talk soon, hopefully.
Yep. Well, there you have it, mate. You never get a boring interview with Dave. That's one thing we will say.
Absolutely. Always worth the admission fee. Always entertaining. We missed him up here in the booth. I mean, we managed to snag Dave for a few weeks, commentary once, and that was always fun having him up here in the booth on the comms. We had to keep the old bleep button ready. But, you know, other than that, it was good fun. But no, absolute epic race tonight from everybody. Really exciting stuff. And look, as we were saying, I didn't notice Dave coming into the lane and taking those tyres in the race. And as we were saying, as we're going, Mark, I'm surprised not any other people took that gamble because it looked like it was a big advantage for Double D.
Yeah, it definitely worked out that way in the end. So be interesting to see if anyone does that next week. Although being Dagger, there's not a great deal of tyre wear there.
No, absolutely, a very different style of track. Tyres not going to be as big as an advantage next time out at Dagger, but we look forward to seeing you all there. Of course, if you're in need for some more motorsport action, especially on the weekend, Mark, Saturday night.
We're at Richmond. So yeah, couple of weeks behind everyone else, but we've done that on purpose. So for our major race in a couple of weeks, the biggest one of the year, but yeah, it's all good fun.
Absolutely, head over to Checkered Flag e-streaming to catch all of that. But for tonight, for Performance e-streaming, we are going to wish you a very good night from myself, Mr. Carl Wilkinson, with you, of course, Mr. Mark Johansson, and all of us here at Performance e-streaming. Wish you a very good night, and we will see you again next week for some more ANZCAR action. Good night.